You have reached the Geek Elite. Good luck.
Join Geek Elites Jessica and John as they open the VHS Gems treasure box of nostalgia. Rediscover the movies from the time of auxiliary cables, blockbuster rentals, and automatic rewind machines. See if these gemstone movies still hold their luster, or if they should be polished and recut for a more modern appeal, or even if it's time to let them turn to dust. New episodes of VHS Gems are released Thursdays at noon Arizona time on geekelitemedia.com and a podcatcher near you.
You know, I probably shouldn't use Magic Bollocks as my Pornhub profile.
Welcome back for another shift on the Geeks Watch. We're here and we're talking about the last episode of the first season of Netflix Sweet Tooth. It's called Big Man. And man, did I want to put a shoe through my television. I don't know if anybody else felt
Yes.
the same reason for the same reason.
Mhm.
But yes, as always, we're going to get into the last episode of Sweet Tooth. We're gonna do our Weeks Watch first. But first, Steven has something to say.
All right, everybody. I wrote down introductions for everyone this time, but I did these like 5 days ago. So we're going to see how these come off. So I have this first one here. Ladies, he's single and he's ready to mingle. It's John,
Not
the tenderizer.
Not according to Tesla.
Not according to Tesla.
Yeah, the pun is better if you read it, I promise.
Yeah.
And then creating universes with nothing more than her gray matter and an impressive hunt and peck method of typing. Jess.
Hello?
A champion of the legal battlefield with the scalps to prove it. Elizabeth.
Scalps.
Yeah, apparently. Hi.
The best interviewer in all of Maricopa County, the best pipes in the business, and a mean right hook. Mitch!
I'm not in Maricopa County.
You never find your way over there?
Well, thank you, Steven. It's quite the introduction for everyone.
Yeah.
But yes, we are going to get into all of that. And first, I don't know. Do we need to talk about just a trailer at all? Does anybody want to talk about the trailer of the Matrix Resurrections?
Oh,
It was good.
I have some
Blue
concerns.
Blue pills. John has what?
I have some concerns.
Concerns?
Yes.
I mean, that's understandable. I assume you didn't watch it at all, Elizabeth.
I listened to you watch it.
Okay.
that counts.
It sounded pretty good.
No, you couldn't have listened to me watch it.
Yeah,
No,
I did.
you listened to me watch the website. The
Oh.
actual trailer came out today.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yes.
No.
Yeah, I just saw John tweet that, like, I don't know if I actually wanted this.
I think that the issue with this whole trailer happens in the last 5 seconds.
Ooh, what's the
And
issue?
it's a product of the people who cut the trailer together. It's that part where that person looks like an office exec says like looks like we're back here at the start of everything with the Matrix.
Oh, yeah.
that whole
was
part can
kinda
go straight to
dumb.
hell.
That's King Henry or whatever. King George? What was it? It's got dude from Hamilton? Groff?
Oh, Jonathan Groff?
Jonathan Groff, yeah.
Oh.
Christoph.
Christoph?
Oh.
Interesting.
Oh.
Yeah, no, he should have known better and spoken up for having to say that line. That's not
he might
redeemed in the
have.
film. It's trash.
They don't always listen to the actors.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
you shouldn't listen to actors.
I mean,
you should.
sometimes.
I will say this as a writer. Sometimes you should listen to the actor.
It's true.
Now, my concern is that it looks really pretty, but
Yeah.
it has the feel at like So the first Matrix came out of nowhere. I mean, obviously, if you were into anime, this was like not treading any new territory for you.
Yeah.
It's got Ninja Scroll and Ghost in the Shell and all kinds of stuff,
Mhm.
in its DNA, Akira. But it definitely caught mainstream America by surprise. And
Yeah.
its time has come. It became like a cultural milestone. 99 was a big year for like movies.
Yeah.
It was.
But it had a very punk rock, very defiant feel to it because it was like nothing else at the time. This feels like it's like everything else that's out right now.
Yeah.
Like this no longer stands out, and it's just another movie with a lot of special effects. And I mean, honestly, you could recut this trailer to look like Free Guy.
Yeah, but I think this is just a teaser, though. I think you'll. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving it more credit, but I think they will change it up once again.
So it basically, one of my concerns is, and probably the biggest one, is that the first movie had ideas. The second movies, the sequels rather, they didn't really expand on those ideas. They mentioned things here and there that sounded really promising, and they did explore them a bit in the external material, the
Yeah,
animatrix.
all the transmedia that they had.
Yeah, the animatrix, the comics, the stuff that they had on the website, which was really cool at the time. Which I heard they just like restarted it, so it's kind of like a little time capsule. And the video games, Enter the Matrix, I think did more to expand the lore than the actual sequels did. You can't just go off and have the Oracle mention vampires, aliens, werewolves, all being parts of the Matrix that people just didn't understand. That was just what they attributed them to, and not actually feature them. They're hinted at very slightly, especially with the Merovingian.
Yeah, but you also get the twins, the Apex twins that are obviously ghosts. What you're
Apex twins.
Is that the name of the musicians that they were?
No, those are not the musicians. Those were just two brothers. Aphex Twin.
I would have loved it if they got Apex Twin for that.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
Oh,
And
bad.
that's the only way I'm going to refer to those people in that movie.
The Aphex Twin. But yeah, so my concern is that this sequel will be a lot more of the, ooh, we can bend reality. There was a scene that looked like it was straight out of Inception, where they go out of a door and the hallway is sideways. And then the camera like pans around. I'm like, that was cool 10 years ago when that came out in the Christopher Nolan movie. Now it's like they're playing catch up to all these other things.
So the thing I'll say against this one, even though I am here for the idea of the fact that I did not see anything that like blew my mind in this first teaser, is that what is there that we can't do with special effects now?
Yeah.
Back then when they were doing the things, it was like, I've never seen this before because we couldn't do it. They found a way to do it. There's nothing that we can't do now.
Yeah, it's like Pixar's next movie, and they're using new technology that's never been used before, and like all that technology is like we can do 1,000,000 hair strands now instead of like 50. Like
it's just
like
becoming
it's so
fantasy now.
Tiny that you don't even really notice unless you zoom in later, and you're like, oh, okay.
Like the thing for this one that I think will be its possible strength will be in the storytelling, because I mean, look at like Blade Runner 2049. Like I like that movie. I love that universe and everything. They got a million different things right. The thing that was the strongest and the weakest about that movie was the story. The visuals can be achieved no matter what.
Yeah, there's a reason why the Transformers movies keep looking better with each iteration, but they keep getting worse story-wise. Like incrementally, when you think it can't go any lower, it goes even lower.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm really hoping that the movie is more about ideas, because like Steven said, there's nothing they pretty much can't do anymore. Don't overcompensate with special effects, and there was a lot of special effects in this teaser. Maybe that's all the special effects that are in the movie, and the rest is a very cerebral jaunt through like Eastern and Western philosophy. Maybe.
This might also just be the first like 8 minutes of the movie.
This is also true.
Too.
This is also true. There's a lot of plot we don't know about. Oh, and the video game. I forgot to mention the Matrix Online also
Yeah.
went
That's why
past
we don't
the
have Morpheus.
yeah. That it expanded a lot of lore. There's a lot of stuff out there. So I'm guessing some of that's gonna play into this. But I don't know. I hope there's a good reason why they're making this movie is what I'm trying to say.
Money.
There
Yeah.
it is. All right.
I don't
Matrix
get it.
It's
Resurrections.
not a good reason. I'm sorry.
Very accurate reason.
Yeah.
Hey, money. You make money in a movie, that means you get to make the next movie. You never know what it is. It's going to be something that's great.
You know what though? I do need this movie and all the rest of the movies coming out to do good because I got some stock in AMC now and they need to blast off for me.
Good luck with your stonks.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Elizabeth, what did you watch this week?
So I watched Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And I know Steven hasn't seen it. I
Wait.
think everybody else has.
So, like, Elizabeth, you have to, or not, yeah, don't put both of your hands up until you are done talking about this. I'm going to take my headphones off just in
Okay.
case.
I can.
All right.
So now that Steven's out of the conversation, I really enjoyed it. I actually went in hesitantly because while I know everybody else really likes Aquafina, I usually find her too over the top in a lot of the stuff that she's done. And so I was not super thrilled with the idea of her being a main character, but I thought she did wonderful in this.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought it was exactly what I want a Marvel movie to be in terms of the ratio of action to comedy. I can't talk with my hands because I'm afraid that I'm going to put up two hands and confuse Stephen. But no, so I thoroughly enjoyed it. I know Mitch and John have much deeper opinions on this movie than I do. There was, I liked a lot of the callbacks. The after or the mid-credit scenes were good. I very much appreciated the storyline they gave Xialing, because when they introduced her as just the disgruntled younger sister, I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
They're going to go real basic so that way she can betray him. And
They did it.
and they didn't, which was,
And it was so wonderful.
was very
so happy.
refreshing. So I did fully appreciate that, as well as where her story ended up, where she just gets to take over the father's empire. Because I was going to be really pissed if Shang-Chi ended up running the empire, because
Nope.
I was like, no, you don't deserve it. You haven't built an empire. Like, your sister has built something from the ground up. She's the only one that really can manage this kind of thing. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, although I did beat my head against the wall for the first part with the thought that Aquafina has a degree from Berkeley and Shang-Chi's a master's from Berkeley, and Shang-Chi speaks multiple languages and they're valeting cars. But to each their own.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi?
Shang.
Shang.
Shang-Chi.
There's a whole part of the movie where he's explaining to her how to say his name.
You changed your name to Shane.
From Shang to Shang. Sean?
Shang
Yeah.
to Shang.
I did not like this movie. I thought it was a fun time. I thought it was a good movie. And I love the characters. I love the fight scenes were amazing. I just felt like there was problems with the editing and storytelling. Like the parts with the father, like Tony Leung, like were amazing.
Yes.
Other stuff just didn't quite fit for me.
No.
Yep. I think that this movie would have done better with some more editing. It seems like they were taking parts out but forgetting that there's other stuff in there that they needed to also take out if they were going to take the other parts out. But that just might be me. And I just felt like there's a lot of holes. Like I know Marvel movies aren't usually like airtight in their plots, but
Yeah.
I felt like there was bigger holes in the plot for me this time, and they just kept nagging at me for whatever reason. But
I didn't really find any major holes. What? Granted, I was having a great time because I was just having a great time, so I didn't overly criticize it when I was watching it. Maybe when I watch it again, but I think if there were holes, they were the stereotypical holes of it just being one movie. I don't know. Unless you have a specific hole that I totally missed, but
I still think that it's a plot hole that who it is that sent the postcard, and if it's the father that sent the postcard, then why? Like that doesn't make any sense that he needed them both to be in the same place to capture them.
I think that's exactly what it was. It was just to try and stick at them both together, just to make it easier to snatch them up, I guess.
But he already sent people to San Francisco to get him.
I honestly didn't even think it was the father. I thought it was somehow somebody from the village.
So then
trying to get them together.
And that should have been explained. Also, the way that they show Winwu at the beginning, like when he's first conquering that one kingdom, like he's powerful enough to just keep like taking over the rest of the world. I don't understand why he stops.
Well, because
I assumed he just turned
the wife.
That's in 1996. That's almost 1,000 years after when he first starts. He has the rings and starts conquering places.
I assumed he switched to shadow work because
it was like
who wants to actually conquer the world is a crazy person.
You want to be the king master, not the king.
Yeah, there you go. What she said.
Sure. They don't explain that though. The beginning of the movie, that prologue is all about him gaining more and more power.
Yeah, power doesn't necessarily mean the face of everything, though.
But they literally show him taking over a country.
Yeah, that's how it is in the ye olden times. Now, in the beginning of civilizations, you just kill everybody.
One kingdom, and he's like, yeah, you know what? I don't need to be the face anymore. I could just,
you know what? Being the face is a bad idea. Yeah.
All right,
it's better to be a symbol.
These are the problems I had with the movie. John, did you want to dive into it at all?
Yeah, I think my only real problems, I mean, yeah, there was those obvious ones you're mentioning, but for me, it was just a few continuity issues that I wasn't quite sure. Like, I could see from like a normal person perspective, like, yeah, that was a fine movie, like no big deal. I enjoyed the movie. I really liked it. It felt like a delicious Chinese dinner from which you feel hungry afterwards, like an hour later. I was like, that was great, but no, I don't feel like I should have had something more with it, you know?
I don't think I've ever experienced that.
I mean, that is the... Anyways. I mean, I want to reiterate, I did enjoy the movie a lot. I liked it.
Yeah, same
it's
here.
Just not at one of the tops of my Marvel movies.
So, like, I guess if there was one that I wanted to address specifically, it was the Abomination, and his relationship to Wong in this, where when you see the trailer and they're fighting in the thing, you're like, oh man, like they're fighting to the death here or something like that. Yeah. No, this was essentially like it was a fight, but like a UFC fight where afterwards they're hanging out in like the locker room afterwards, like, hey, that was a good fight, man.
Yeah.
Like and like the Abomination is like tame. Like he's not like this wild animal. He's like
perfect.
Well, better luck next time. And then they both take off together, like in the portal. Like, what? Yeah. There's a lot that has to be explained about this little interaction.
See, this is why I'm not going to start reading comic books because I don't want to have to question those things.
And maybe
I just don't accept it as being funny and go on.
Comic books have more time to explain things. That's why you get more issues.
Maybe Wong will get a spin-off series on Disney Plus. So it'll show you like all the behind-the-scenes stuff of him trying to keep everything together and making friends with other people across the MCU or something.
All right.
Wong is the real hero.
Let's get Steven back in here. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is in theaters now.
Steven, next time you have to have Mitch give you the signal because I talk too much with my hands.
As soon as it like happened where you started to lift your hands up, I was like, oh no. Oh no.
John, what did you watch this? Wait, no, I usually go to Steven next. Steven, what did you watch this week?
Okay. I wasn't
You guys
gonna
are
be mad
moving
about
around in the little boxes, that's why.
So I watched a lot of things this week. Mitch, you can choose.
Huh?
Do I talk about the short film that I mentioned to you, or do I talk about a series from the streaming service Peacock?
Talk about the series from the streaming service Peacock, because I haven't got to watch the short film yet.
Wait, Steven
Okay.
was talking and it reminded me real quick. The other thing that I watched per Steven's recommendation last week is we watched all of the available episodes of Only Murders in the Building.
That's correct.
Which validated my distinct inability to watch shows that come out week by week, because I am now currently just frustrated that there are episodes that are to be coming and I don't have them yet. But it's
I'm sorry.
All right, Steven, go.
So last night or the night before, Naima ended up putting something random on when I came downstairs to like get dinner and different stuff. Like there was just a series playing on TV that had all these people with Australian accents, and it seemed really like drama heavy for a moment, but then it was funny, and
Wait,
it was already on, so I couldn't.
Bluey too?
Bluey, like the animated series? No, I did not watch Bluey.
Bluey.
I got to
Bluey
see
is
that for the
supposed to be
first time
wonderful, though.
this week.
It's beautiful.
Didn't know it was Australian. Sorry, Steven, I interrupted.
Oh, no, that's okay. But no. So I couldn't be like, I'm not interested in this, because I wasn't the one who turned on the TV. I was the interloper in the situation. I get to deal with what's already on. But the series ended up being pretty good. And this was the series 5 Bedrooms.
Okay.
It's a like a sitcom kind of thing with a little bit of drama here and there, because there is still like real life stuff happening with a bunch of mid 20s to early 30s people who all end up moving into a house together as a bunch of single people through different circumstances.
And they have to get real.
Honestly,
No, but
kind of makes
honestly,
sense.
that's how it feels like it's gonna go. You know, like you expect people to start hooking up and whatnot and all these different things, but it's really good. They deal with a bunch of different things that I don't think if you were a younger person watching the stuff, I don't think would necessarily hit as hard, I guess. But they have different people. There's one person who's older and is moving into this house with a bunch of people that they know, leaving their marriage in that one. One person is a person who's single because if they were to actually have a relationship with another man, that would destroy their mother. You know, different things like that are in there, and it's really good. It's funny. There's times where you're like, this character is really freaking good. Like, this is a very good character, and this is a person who I wish that I knew in some regard. But then also that person has plenty of their own struggles. It like in a kind of like Ted Lasso-y kind of way. It's interesting. It was a really good series though, and it's on Peacock, which is a free streaming service. Go watch it.
It's free with ads.
Yeah, but that's free. Basically, it's free, and then they give you 30 to 60-second breaks to text people.
Well, I will probably be checking out Peacock when Lost Symbol comes out.
That's fair. Yeah, you guys will absolutely be watching that. But how will you do that if it's week to week, Elizabeth?
She will be upset. But she has all the episodes of Killing Eve that she could be watching, and she has yet to watch any more of that. So she's just a very complicated TV watcher.
I get distracted.
I understand.
Also,
Other
just to
than that,
further
though,
plug Peacock, I've heard they're going to get Halloween the same day it's released in theaters.
They are.
Ooh.
Halloween Kills, the new Halloween movie. It's going to be day and date with Peacock in the theater.
That I'm not.
Interesting.
I know you're not.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, the short film that I had mentioned to Mitch, though, in case anybody wants to watch it, has my highest recommendation. I think it came out in like 2017 or earlier to that. I don't really remember. But it's a film called The Privates. If you like Scott Pilgrim, it's probably up your alley.
Huh.
But for the love of God, when you go to type it into the internet, type in The Privates short film. Otherwise, you will not find it because that is not an SEO friendly term.
Could you probably just go to YouTube and type in The Privates?
Yeah, if you type in The Privates there, you still get a bunch of stuff that's
Really?
not that short film.
Okay. Fair. All right. Jessica, what did you watch this week?
I watched a couple animes on Netflix. One is a remake of an anime from when we were kids, Shaman King.
Yeah.
I remember liking this as I was a kid, but it was like a Saturday morning show, so I don't think I ever watched it in order. Or
it was on the Fox Box.
Yeah, the Fox Box. So, like, I don't know if I watched it in order or like what season I started on or anything. So it was
you never got to finish it.
Oh, I didn't.
It never finished its run.
It didn't. Oh, nope. Okay. I had no idea. Okay, so it was a little different watching the first season on Netflix, and then I would say it's a little different watching it as an adult, because as a kid I just thought, oh, cool, these kids are like fighting, yeah, that's great. And as an adult I'm like, these kids are like 12. Like, where are their parents? Why is this happening? There is a scene where, like, spoiler, but there's a kid that literally gets like operated on live as he's awake by like a bad guy, and I'm like, it doesn't show it, but you know that's what's happening, and you're just like, what the hell is happening? This is a child show.
It's also crazy. The show decided to just jump straight into a tournament. Usually there's like a couple episodes of other stuff and then a tournament starts happening.
There was like two episodes and it's like, boom, he's fighting someone for the tournament. And I'm like, what is this? It's just, why do all these kids already have so much trauma in their life? But it's great. It was fun. It's anime.
Do you remember by any chance, like, do you have pronounced specific memories of the series to remember some of the differences?
No, and that's just, I think the biggest memory I have from it is like the look of the kids. And then I remember, like, which I don't even know if it's the right thing, but the girl character, the fiance girl, I remember her training under like a waterfall, and I thought that was like a cool thing. Or she's like, but I don't know if that was the same thing. I feel like it was that. That's about all I like remember. But like, I'm watching it now, I'm like, yeah, I remember that person, and it's like, but it's all blurry. It's every week watching anime after anime and cartoon after cartoon, like they all blend.
They made some big changes. Number one, I miss the theme song from back when, because it's like almost like Disney quality kind of music.
Yeah.
Part at some points, and then. The voice of Yo is very different in this one.
I did notice that. I thought there was something off with the voice, but I couldn't quite remember it. I'm like, I don't know.
And then they changed Ryu. In the original one, Ryu was like Hispanic, like a Hispanic caricature.
Uh-huh.
And in this one, they decided to lean into him being more Elvis-ish, like his look.
Yeah. Okay.
It's weird.
That is weird. It's weird though. It's really weird.
Also, well, and the stuff they put this little hit in the beginning of the series that was not in any way, shape, or form early on in the original anime series, where they're like, "This is the bad guy. You'll see later, and he's bad."
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. It's by the way, this is the bad guy. You're gonna run into him later, and you're not gonna know he's a bad guy, but you already know he's the bad guy.
Yeah. We did not know that back when. Shaman King is very influential in my life.
But yeah, so I watched that. It was fun, reliving memories. I kind of sort of wish it had more than just one season out, though. I kind of wish I could binge the whole thing. But and then after I finished that, it recommended a Netflix original called Eden Zero. I liked it more than I liked Shaman King, even with the nostalgia aspect of Shaman King. Eden Zero is this story that takes place in another universe, and I'm going to try to simplify an anime, and that's just not really possible, is it? But it's it's got this character who he grew up on a planet that is basically like a Disneyland type animatronic planet. So, Mitch, don't watch this. Not that we
Nope.
could get you to watch an anime anyway.
Yep.
But he grew up there all by himself until they get visited by basically a YouTuber, only it's called B Cube. And he ends up having to leave with her and ends up becoming a pirate. It's fun. It's so fun. It's adorable. The characters are fun. The fighting is great. He has gravity power, so he can just manipulate gravity however he wants. And that's cool. And they have other cool, powerful characters. It is extremely fan servicey, but I'm so used to that now that I'm like, like they kind of sort of do. They at least kind of do the fan service in a way that kind of sort of makes fun of it, or the main character, like she's a YouTuber or their version of that, and so when she gets tied up once, she's like, this is gonna get me all the views, like, yeah, like kind of like teasing about it, and other girls in the room with her are like, oh god, like why? But it's not, it's fun. That I always feel like I need to warn, hey, it's fan servicey though, like just warning. But it's fun, it's cute. Also wish I had more than one season of it. Had kind of a cliffhanger ending, but what you gonna do?
I think that the creator for that one, I'm just going off what I've seen of the art style because I did not look into this one more. It looks like it's from the same person who did that series Fairy Tale and a couple others. So I mean, you could have more of their work if you wanted to.
I think I tried Fairy Tale and I couldn't get into it. But yeah, it does remind me of it. Yeah. But yeah, it's fun. And then also I have finished the first season of Ted Lasso. I finished it when I was with all my family, when they were like, you haven't finished the first season. So we all watched the last 2 episodes of the first season together. And I don't think it's been a long time since I've had a show that made me like react so profoundly as I was watching it. Like I was in the stadium with that team, like I was like jumping up. I'm sure my family now thinks I'm insane, but like I was just, it's such a wonderful show. I understand not wanting to get Apple TV. I do, because I was there, and then I got it for Schmigadoon, which is great too. but then I ended up watching Ted Lasso, and it's true. Oh my gosh, like get Apple TV just to watch Ted Lasso. It will change your life. It will straight up change your life. The characters are so damn good. So good.
How excited were you during the part with Rebecca towards the end of the series?
So excited.
Where you learn that she has a talent that we didn't know about.
I was so excited. Oh, it's so great.
I don't know. I'm trying to like play it close to the chest with a show that's been out for like a year and change. But
yeah.
And at this point now, everybody on this show has watched it.
I don't think John's watched it.
I don't think John has watched it.
Jonathan.
John.
I don't think actually your full name is Jonathan. I just really like calling people full names.
I like to extend it to Jonatello.
Jonatello is good.
But yeah, go get Apple TV to watch Ted Lasso. There's a few other good shows on there, but like get it to watch Ted Lasso. Do it. I can't wait to start season 2. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I'm kind of scared. Okay, all right, I'm done. That's Apple TV. The other 2 shows are from Netflix.
Shaman King, Eden Zero, Ted Lasso. There you go. John, what did you watch this week?
I watched Marvel's What If.
Oh, okay. So anybody else not up to date on their What If?
I haven't watched the latest one. I watched the others, and honestly,
That's fair for this episode more than all of the others.
Oh.
I would agree.
I disagree.
You like this one a lot?
I didn't say it was, I don't think it's any less than the other episodes. I think they're all pretty okay. Like the one I like the most is the first one.
Yeah. No, it's been diminishing returns for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
John?
So, well, this one was basically What If Marvel Zombies.
Yep.
It's not a shot-for-shot remake of the comic book series. I'm not super familiar with the comics.
It's not even close. Marvel Zombies is like deep. There's a bunch of stuff in there. There's so much.
Yeah, it was done by Kirkman, wasn't it?
It was. The first one
Yeah.
was.
I'm not saying it's perfect or great. I don't think it should have the kind of love that people have for it at all. But there's so much more in that than what this is.
Yeah, for one, I mean, I won't get too much into the spoilers of it, but um, the Marvel zombies are intelligent, like they can speak, and these are like more like the mindless zombies, like bruh, like that they don't really. Um, they still retain their powers, which is neat to see like a zombified character still use its abilities. Um, there was some interesting twists to it that I wasn't expecting. And there was some cool set pieces for sure. Especially having a giant wasp lady doing stuff. But
Why
overall,
did she not shrink down? I don't understand.
because you needed to have the end result of that, which I'm like, wait, she's gonna. Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm also confused about how, like, the way that she ended up falling about stuff. Like, she has her moment, and then, like, a guy breaks through, like, a zombie breaks through the glass of her face shield. That happens. There's literally, like, 2 or 3 seconds, and then she falls backwards? Like, what? Why?
Drama.
I definitely think that story-wise, this one was the weakest, maybe because it was trying to shoot for too much. But it's the first one that we get Spider-Man in, and a lot of other characters. Emily Van Camp comes back as Sharon Carter. You get some cool stuff with Buck. Actually, I kind of like that. There was this... I think the problem was it didn't know what tone it wanted to go with, whether it was scary or kind of flippant. It had kind of a Zombieland feel to it, especially with Peter Parker in it, like making his zombie awareness videos.
That's fair. Yeah.
It was very like rule number 1, like do the double tap or whatever. Like that was kind of ridiculous and unrealistic. Like walking in on Bucky showering, like you wouldn't really do that,
Yes, I really want to do that.
Well, and they make cartoon
I
Bucky
don't think they're asking us.
way more handsome than he already is in real life. Like I would be offended if I were him.
What?
They make him look better.
Yeah.
Look how quick Jess is typing right now.
They did the same thing to Thor in that episode. Like the whole he's gorgeous with his hair flowing thing.
I don't think that they were overselling what that man is like in real life.
I mean, I guess to each their own.
Yeah, I guess.
And Tom Holland was pretty much the only one that didn't come back to do the voice.
Yeah, pretty much, I think.
They weren't going to let him touch the What If series. Are you kidding me? Tom Holland. Keep him out of whatever you can.
You could give him What If. Like, you just have him record anything, and he's just going to say stuff, and no one's going to know what's real and what's not.
I'm sure it's all like a Sony TV deal thing. Like he probably can't show up as Spider-Man in a TV version of whatever.
I don't know. I think they're playing pretty nicely together. I don't want to go like too in depth with stuff, but like today we got all of those Marvel game announcements, and they're all PlayStation exclusives.
Yeah, there could be some behind the scenes stuff, and these are the residuals of that.
That's generally what you do. You broker deals.
But they have the rights. Sony has the rights to Spider-Man in video games.
Yeah, but not to Wolverine.
Yeah.
I mean, that might have been part of the deal for getting Spider-Man in more movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, we'll let you have Spider-Man more, but you got to give us some of your characters for some of our electronic stuff.
It's fair. I'm excited. It's from Insomniac, but I digress.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I felt like this one tried to do too much, and it didn't really nail a solid tone. It wasn't really scary, and the humor didn't quite land. And then when you get to Ant-Man, the humor just goes off the rails. Like it tries to do too much with an already ridiculous premise. And like I'm like, really, we don't need this. This is like, it was like you know what it was like? It was like a Futurama episode, right down to like the head and the jaw.
Yeah.
That's basically what it turned into. And it's probably, I don't know if you consider some of the other episodes having cliffhangers, but this one has like zero resolution. But it didn't quite make it clear if it was a cliffhanger that's going to have a part 2 or what. It's just like, and then this happens, and then it just kind of cut to black. I was like, okay.
I think the
episode where Loki takes over is pretty cliffhangery too.
Mm-hmm. And I think this one, they kind of wrap things up a little bit. I think with the speech from T'Challa.
Like there's hope or whatever. There's something to keep fighting for.
Yeah.
You know, I guess. I don't know. Not my favorite episode of What If so far. I think my favorite one probably is also Captain Carter as well. But I'm willing to see where they keep going with it because, I mean, it's one. I wouldn't even say it was bad. It's just my least favorite of them. So if that's the rate that they're going with right now, I still have hope for the series to deliver some good content.
Oh, that's fair. I liked the Guardians of the Galaxy one, the Black Panther becoming Star-Lord, because of the sheer fun they had with it, where it's like if he was Star-Lord, he would have been friends with Thanos, which to me was
Guardian
just,
of the Galaxy.
Yeah, that's kind of, I'm like, I like this. This is cute. I didn't necessarily like the collector guy being the evil one, but I mean, it makes sense. But I was like, eh. There's just aspects where I'm like, yeah, that's cute. I kind of like that. But then you're also like, this is also really is just for like, yeah, this is just fun. It's not going to ever really happen. It's just kind of,
they don't
watcher watching things.
They don't explain though in that reality how the collector got Hela's helmet and Cap's shield and Thor's hammer.
Yeah,
there's a lot of plot there that they just glossed over.
Yeah, so, but I think that's it. They can't go too far into things. It's just like, this is what would happen. You're gonna have to accept it. That if you change this, then all these butterfly effect things happen, kind of thing.
The one thing I'll say for the series is, if there's anyone who's a hardline proponent of the like mirror match for all of the villains in the MCU, like all of the films, I think that this series should be like your favorite thing ever, because then you just get to go and point at it for the last couple episodes and say, see, like they could have gone bad with their powers, so it's okay for them to fight people who went bad with their powers.
That's fair.
I did not like the Death of the Avengers one. I really hated that. And I hated that because of who the bad guy was. I was like, oh, come on. And why they were. I was like, ugh. Gross.
Well, he lost everything to S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, I know. And I hate that. Lost everything to S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay. What If is on Disney Plus. I will keep mine short. I watched Vacation Friends on Hulu.
Yay!
The new movie starring John Cena and Lil Rel Howery. Don't watch it. There you go.
Whoa. Mitch, I settled into it being much more tolerable as I was there. I don't know if it's like a Stockholm syndrome kind of thing. But the beginning, I was like, I hate this.
I watched mine over like the course of 4 days because I had to keep stopping it. Like, not because like it was so bad, but like things just kept happening. But like maybe I never got into the Stockholm part of it. So this like the way that they make the two characters so stark, like opposites, so that they could drive home the point of, well, you just need to stop being so serious about everything. Kind of like, the main characters, all of his problems like are just that, like his problems. Like it's literally just like get out of your own way kind of thing, and that's it. That's the whole movie. Doesn't need to happen. And then you kind of get a little bit of white savior like complex going on in the movie. So I'm just like,
gross.
That's not cool
Just
anymore.
That's fair. But like the white saviors are also like coked up Floridians.
Exactly. So it's not a good thing. Well, they're coked up
Oregonians.
Yeah, Oregonians.
Yeah, no, it's just that they come off like they're from Florida.
Oh yeah,
they look
really
like
do.
Floridians. Yeah.
So I was like, by the time I was done with the movie, I was like, I'm glad I'm just done with this movie. But other people
you
liked
see-
it to the point where they have a sequel already. Like after its opening weekend, they greenlit a sequel. It's called Honeymoon Friends. So that tells you about what happens at the end of the movie.
I came down on it better at the end, but I don't know how the fuck they got a sequel.
I think I
Okay,
watched all
I'm
of 10
confused.
minutes of it with you and hated it.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't hate it. I just like, this is not good.
No, I
The
wasn't
characters
mad
make
at it.
less sense than the characters in Barb and Star. And that's
Still haven't
saying
watched
something.
that.
So
but
like
yes.
that movie can get a sequel and it looks that ridiculous, but there was a movie I liked that didn't get a sequel even though I thought it could have had a sequel. I'm trying to remember what it was, but it had Jennifer Aniston. Again, I'm really bad with names, so
Mother's
that doesn't
Day.
help.
What Wanderlust?
No,
What's the premise of the movie?
that's what I'm trying to remember.
The breakup.
He's like a drug dealer, or he got in trouble with drug dealers, and he ends up with Jennifer Aniston and two teenagers.
Oh, we're the Millers.
Yeah, we're the Millers. Like that is utterly like that. Like the poster of this movie reminds me of We're the Millers, and which was a movie I thought I was going to hate, but I ended up thinking was utterly hilarious and could have had a sequel. But that doesn't get a sequel. And then this stupid thing gets a sequel, and now I'm
Isn't
upset.
Isn't that
We're
have
the
Ed
Millers
Helms?
is pretty funny. Yes, Ed Helms.
I was gonna say
That's why.
Leprechaun had several sequels.
Ed Helms didn't. I think he's like just almost
Jason
persona non
Sudeikis.
grata in movies at this point.
Yeah,
I think that they thought he was a super like a bankable star, and personally, like I couldn't care less if Ed Helms is in something.
well, he
I
was
think,
in
and I honestly
Central
think
on that.
that's your problem. Is he doesn't have the star power, whereas Cena, coming off of all the things he's doing, and little Rel
Rel's
is kind
in
of like
everything.
rising. Yeah, because he's
Wait,
in everything.
Isn't Ted Lasso also in We're the Millers?
That's
I know that there's a
Wait,
scene between Jennifer
Jason
Aniston.
Sudeikis. It's not Ed Helms.
Yeah, it's Jason Sudeikis. Yeah,
Oh, Ed Helms
is the lead. Jason
is the
Sudeikis
bigger
is the
drug
lead.
dealer.
Yeah, Ed Helms is the bad guy, basically.
Oh,
That's right.
wow.
And then it's Will Poulter is the teenage boy, and Emma Roberts. I can't remember Emma Roberts.
Jason Sudeikis was also not necessarily like punching at his full weight class yet at that point.
Yeah.
Well, Vacation Friends is on Hulu right now,
Anyway,
and you can go watch it if you want to, but I suggest you don't.
you should watch
All
We're the
right.
Millers.
After that long week's watch, we are going to get into Sweet Tooth, episode 8, Big Man.
I don't want to.
And like I said, is it episode 8?
It's the season finale.
Yeah, it's the
whatever episode
finale. It's
number
8.
is.
Yeah.
But like I said, there was one point in this episode where I was truly shocked and wanted to kick a hole through the television. It's when Big Man got shot.
Oh, okay. I'm really surprised
Particularly
in
right
movies.
after we get the positive conclusion to his backstory, where we
Yeah.
thought we were going to get a negative conclusion to his backstory.
Yeah. And instead
he
we
turns
got, I
around,
was
he-
going to go back.
Why
Sorry,
do
Steven.
people in movies get shot in the wrong side of the chest
they
all the time?
live.
So they can come back. Which, of course, as soon as I saw, like, first I was pissed, and then I noticed where he got shot, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? Are you doing this crap to me on the finale?" I'm like,
But he
if
also,
you're gonna kill him, please
like,
kill him.
the bullet entered into the front of him, but the car came from behind them.
Well, the car did, but the sniper who was
The sniper in
nickname
the
it him.
field.
Sure.
Yeah.
This episode we get some reveals. More people are tied together than we ever thought.
Yeah.
Dr. Singh and Big Man have a scene in the elevator when they were in the past at the beginning of the pandemic. Dr. Singh giving him advice of you can do anything if it's for the person you love becomes a different thing when we know where Dr. Singh is going to end up and where he's at, where he's doing something very terrible now for the person that he loves.
Mhm.
he gets to
R.I.P.
meet.
Chameleon Boy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is like if Lizard Kid had just been a little bit cuter, if he had just been an animal that was
A
cute,
red fawn.
yeah, he would have been. If he would have been, a red panda or something, like just anything, not a lizard.
That's life.
It would have saved. Yeah, exactly.
Literally, one of my when I was in psychology, my psychology professor would be like, "Because you can always experiment all you want on the ickies, just not the cutesy wootsies." Just straight up said
That's
that.
fair.
That's why we experiment on rats. Nobody likes rats. No one's gonna care.
You don't do experiments on otters because they got cute little human hands and
Yeah.
do human things with them.
They can hold things.
They can.
They can-
And then you also we found out that Bear and Windy are sisters. Now I
Yes.
believe they're just foster sisters, but they are sisters.
yeah.
Which also interesting connection.
Yeah.
Really makes you think who it is that dropped off Windy at the zoo. Because as Elizabeth
Yeah.
pointed out, it's probably not the last man that taped up the house and more than likely burned it down, took the sister away.
Maybe that was the time where the general guy got so mad at the other dude. Maybe he did that.
Oh,
Maybe.
I was
Johnny.
gonna say blame it on Johnny.
Or at that time, Big Man might have been a last
Big Man?
man. He could have took
Oh,
Windy
yeah.
over
She,
to and
she did seem to recognize him pretty quickly, like she'd had dealings with him before.
that's true.
Yeah.
There was so much in that. What would be their first
sort of
exchange
gut
together?
feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But so
So I
what's
don't know.
Judy's connection to Bear?
I don't think there is one.
How does she have Bear's stuffed animal?
I don't
then?
think it's the same one. It's just a
Yeah.
bear.
It's
I
just
think
a
it just
bear?
brought that memory.
Yeah, and it could because her foster parents kept calling her Becky Bear. So
Yeah.
unless Judy is her biological mother who gave
Oh
her
my
up to
gosh.
foster care,
Uh,
a lot of things happen in Essex County apparently. But yeah, when we get a little bit more with Abbott, we saw how prepared Amy actually is, and is her last name actually Eden? I think I saw that for the first time this time on the closed captioning when they called her Amy Eden, and thus she had the garden.
I think so,
which
actually.
is the
Yeah.
zoo.
oh, yeah.
Subtitles give so much away sometimes.
Yeah.
I really do think that there's something up with like Abbott's eyes, like the fact that he's always wearing the sunglasses. I know it's probably just cool, and that's just the way that the artist drew him in the comic book.
No, it turns out that he comes from the mirror universe, and the frequency of light is different in that dimension. So when he came over, he had to keep wearing those shades to like. It's the light is the wrong wavelength in this dimension.
No, he got infected, and it turned him into a hybrid. So he's got lizard eyes or snake eyes.
Lizard.
He's just Dr.
Snake
Robot.
eyes.
John, were you making a counterpart like reference?
No, Star Trek Discovery.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because the
missed
captain, he's weird about stuff. Captain Malfoy.
Because there was the J.K. Simmons series called Counterpart, where it was all about the guy from another universe that is also J.K. Simmons, like where he's badass.
Oh.
No one watched that show. That's why it got canceled on Stars.
No, there were two things that were the standout moments in this episode for me. Number
It was
one,
Reese Darby at the beginning of the episode, right?
100%. That was the first one I was gonna say, Mitch.
Wait a
I
minute.
fucking love Reese Darby so much.
Wait, where was
I do
Reese
love
Darby?
Reese Darby.
He was Greg.
He was,
You changed, Greg.
yeah, he was the guy in the
Oh, I thought he looked familiar.
Yeah, he's just like
Holy
do
crap.
you even know, like they want you to feel that kind of thing or whatever, want you to worry about that. Who?
You know,
The government, the medical people, whoever.
it threw
Do
me
you
off.
even know
'cause
what's in that?
he didn't have the accent though. That's why it threw me off.
No, I
think
mean,
he
the
didn't get to
accent-
say enough that you couldn't hear his New Zealand
Oh.
accent. Yeah.
But yeah, Reese Darby and Steve Coogan, like those two guys, if they're in anything ever, I'm just like, yes. But yeah, there's that moment, and then the part where we got to see everything with Big Man, where he was freaking out about his kid being different. For some reason, I don't know what it was necessarily, but I never really thought about it in any way, shape, or form being tied to people who have children who have some kind of genetically identifiable or physically identifiable difference. I never thought about that in this. And then when he was talking about that and dealing with it and saying like, I don't know if I can do this, like I genuinely at that point was pulling myself back from having any tears fall, because that kind of idea is just so incredibly hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like for people who face that stuff head on and then decide to still go through with what people kind of expect of parents, in this situation. That's hard.
Yeah, the fact that people think, like, some people, when you're not dealing with that, think it's like an easy choice, like it's still your kid, but like you're gonna grow up seeing your kid get bullied and dealing with medical bills. Like, it's hard, like, and you're still gonna love your kid, but you can't protect them, and that the world is going to be against them, and the world is getting better with acceptance, but like it is a moment, like there is nothing wrong with being scared about it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's natural to just, your life is going to be hard.
Well,
and you're going to see your kid's life be hard, and that is just devastating. So
at an even more basic level, you run into the, did I do something wrong? Is this my fault? It's
because people
my
will
fault that something's gone wrong.
People will do that too. Like for women that, their infants born with, say, fetal alcohol syndrome, because they didn't know they were pregnant till like 30 weeks. So they were drinking as they usually do. That, even though she didn't know, that mom will still blame herself, will still hate herself for that. But it's not her fault. She didn't know. Like, everybody drinks, or not everybody, but like most people drink. Like, she didn't know she was pregnant. It's just, and people will say that, well, or the vaccine thing with autism. There are still people that still think autism is caused by vaccines.
Yeah,
because of one idiot doctor that lied. So
it's not. It's very dumb.
Yeah, it's just it's dumb. I did think they handled that scene really well. So.
Yeah, they did a really good job with having some references to real world situations, more current ones, things that are evergreen, like having to deal with any developmental differences, and even in this episode we got kids in cages. Like I did not read that original comic book series or anything, but I think that if these things weren't in there, or if they were in there, they at the very least, I think, cranked some things up and focused on some stuff a little bit more.
Yeah.
Speaking of Big Man and his kid, we saw that his baby boy was born as a hybrid with, I'm guessing, lamb?
His kid was a satyr. It was awesome.
A satyr. Yeah, he's pretty cool looking.
Do you think that was the other kid that was in the cages with Sweet Tooth there at the end? Because there was one that was like...
was pretty spot on to looking like him, so...
It's a possibility. So, but the idea is... or what they propose, I assume, is that he wasn't gone for that long. Like he goes down the elevator and then goes back up to the elevator, and his wife and kid are gone. Or do you think there was more time in between?
No, they were taken.
No, they were just straight up taken without him knowing within a minute.
They found some gene in her bloodstream that they thought they could exploit to solve the issue, so they took them both.
It's entirely possible.
Yep. This is completely possible.
See, I thought it was interesting that the medical staff wasn't really freaking out about it, but like...
they've seen so many.
At that point, yeah.
But normal people were still like, oh my god, this is like the most horrible thing.
But I mean, that's also what's happening in her life, right? Like...
yeah.
I guess, yeah. We still haven't seen what the connection is with the flowers, though. That's what's bugging me about this whole thing.
there would be
Mother
like,
Nature
medical.
provides the virus. Mother Nature provides the cure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true, it's usually right there.
So, like, I kind of breezed through the last episode, the 7th episode, but this was found in Antarctica, right? In the ice, right? Okay, all right. I ignored that episode for some
Or at
reason.
least
I don't know
it
why,
was
but-
a thing that they found something that could be utilized as a tool to achieve an end, and then they like that happened and went awry.
And speaking
Yeah.
of Antarctica, oh, sorry, go ahead.
She just said, "Yeah."
Oh,
I just said yeah. Okay, sorry.
Speaking of Antarctica, we have Birdie showing back up. Apparently, after she left Essex County, she went back up to Antarctica, and Bear got a sat phone to work. The only number that it was programmed in, or at least on the redial, was Birdie's phone, and she called her and said, "Who the hell are you?" kind of thing. Does she make her way
good.
back? What do you? How do you all think that's going to play out in season 2?
Oh, she definitely comes back.
Mm-hmm.
And Gus has to deal with the fact that his mom is probably the cause of everything.
Okay.
I think he has to deal with the fact that she doesn't see him as being a person or her child. She probably comes back to be because there's something about him that could be used as a tool to fix this, or at least further research.
And then Big Man has to like kill her and stop the other scientist. It's gonna be Last of Us. That's what this is.
I mean, it definitely has plenty of things for like the lone wolf and cub kind of thing. Like that's in here.
I mean, that's a dystopian trope at this point. Lone wolf and cub.
Yeah.
Anything else? Anything in particular anybody wants to get to? Abbott is making Dr. Singh make him the cure, but only the cure that he can use.
And he knows that he was like bullshitting the whole time too. So it's like, well, now you're gonna have to deliver.
Well, yeah, he's still his best bet at getting what he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the guy's wife is sick.
Right.
Like that's motivation right there.
He's making the same calculation the original female doctor did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm leaving it to you because you'll do anything to save her.
Yeah. That makes
It
sense.
works.
It works. It clocks out.
I mean, it's his own words. You'll do anything for love.
Yep.
Like, you don't need
But I
to
won't-
motivate
but I
me
won't do
further.
that.
I'm already motivated.
I heard you, Stephen.
They are making an Order of the Phoenix though, in the kids with the cages.
100%.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
You did one up me.
It's
Okay.
gonna be cute.
Also,
3,000%.
There you go.
also, Amy is not giving Big Man enough time to heal from a gunshot wound before having
only
to go
need- To the
take
lung.
on the last army.
Rest up. We're gonna save our children.
Tomorrow.
He's been shot through the lung, sir. Like, what?
It's just a flesh wound.
It's a flesh wound. Of important flesh, though.
Still just
It's the important bits. So what? You got 2 lungs. You can lose one.
She's
I mean, it's fair.
She is a mom
You
on
can.
a mission.
Yeah.
Like, you'll be
He's
fine.
he's just running on adrenaline. He's like crank right now.
No, I don't know. I'm very curious to see where they take it for season 2. I think it'll be a while before that actually happens, unless they really did pioneer some new kind of ways of shooting stuff. Like we were kind of theorizing earlier on with how some of the special effects were, you know?
Yeah.
It'll be interesting though. I don't think it's one that gets canceled or anything because wasn't this Robert Downey Jr.'s production company?
Yes.
Yes, and they already approved a second.
Yeah,
season.
it's already got a season 2, yeah.
I just even if the second season is really bad, I don't think that they're gonna try to cut ties with like the golden goose that is Robert Downey Jr.
I'm sure they're gonna get the 3 seasons that Netflix likes to give everything.
Yeah. And I think that would be enough to wrap up this story.
God, I would hope so.
I also feel like it's going to be a while before the second season, but just like how it was a long while before like Witcher season 2. Like it's
Yeah.
the added
Yeah.
of having to film during pandemic, but then you also have special effects and you're going to be working with children. Like that's just a hardship.
Yeah, it is.
Gus's antlers in this so much bigger and more prominent than like they've been getting bigger, but now it's like, no, I have freaking antlers.
Yeah.
I wonder if the rest of his skull is hard. If he was gonna headbutt another antler boy, like would he have that reinforcement in the spine and like in the skull?
I don't know. That's one of the biggest issues with trying to change humans at all. With superpowers and stuff, if anyone has super strength, you have to also assume that they have like super dense skeleton, or at least like more firm skin and different stuff. There's so many other qualifiers to that.
Yeah.
That if you don't have those things, you just rip yourself apart.
Yeah, there was one that was part owl in that group from the zoo. And I was like, so he must have like super thin bones, and if he's human sized, then
Oh god.
he either can't fly or he's gonna have to be really frail to be able to like flap around.
Oh,
Even walking would be hard.
Sweet Tooth doesn't have hooves. Like all he has is antlers and ears, whereas Bobby on the other end is all beaver.
He has a great sense of smell.
Gopher.
Also.
Or gopher, yeah.
Oh yeah, and he can see in the dark too. He's got those creepy reflective irises.
True. All right.
Yeah,
I think that's everything we want to talk about.
Yep.
I'd much rather see is like the second season of this than Cursed.
Well, Cursed
That's
got
not
canceled,
happening,
so
you're
won't-
safe.
First got canceled, so you're good.
So yeah.
If you want to talk to me about any of this or any other thing we talked about today, you can find me on Twitter. I'm at Mitchipedia GEM. GEM stands for Geek Elite Media. Steven, what would you like to tell people about today?
Go to the Twitter for the artist T Ketch, TEEKETCH. He's wonderful. He's fantastic, and he also has a Patreon where if you just do $5 a month, you get a Patreon or like a small poster art card and a sticker. He's great.
Ooh.
Jessica, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter as JM Bailey Writes.
And John?
You can at me on Twitter, and you can also at the hashtag AMC. We're gonna go big or go broke.
What's your at on Twitter?
It's at Magic Bollocks.
There you go.
Do you have to search for it?
You can. Apparently, I'm the only Magic Bollocks in the entire internet. So if you find it, that's me.
Elizabeth?
You can find me with the rest of Geek Elite Media at Geek Elite Media and our Facebook page /Geek Elite Media.
Check out our website, geekelitemedia.com, for archived episodes of this podcast and other podcasts on our network. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Geek Elite Media, for exclusive material you can only get if you're one of our patrons. And whatever podcatcher you use to listen to us, please rate and review us. It helps spread the word of our network. But until next time, this is the Geeks Watch on the Geek Elite Media Network saying always remember to geek out.
Geek out.
This concludes our broadcast. Beep.